Well, hello again, it's Kathy and Rosie Vesperina, and now we're moving on to the second part of our ride up to Newcastle. So in the previous video I left home and I went to Wyoming to BWS and met with Marie and Sam, and then we carried on from there to Greenpoint to pick up Fee, and then we rode to North Entrance just over the bridge to pick up Mia and Joe. And as you know, Mia is my grandbaby, and so we picked her up, we've picked up Joe, and we've headed off. I like to ride behind Mia just because I can see where she is and I know where she's going. I feel like when she's behind me, I can't see her obviously, and so I get a bit nervous and I worry that she's not okay. So I discovered on this trip that I feel much more comfortable when she's in front of me than behind. So the next stop is Budgewoi, where we will pick up Tanya and Alex. Now Alex is the lovely lady who came with Fee and I to practice the P's course on the Saturday before this ride, and we got caught in the rain and we went and we had to do that scary road that I don't love, the Ridgeway in the rain. She's actually a much more competent rider than me. I can't remember the type of bike that she rides, but it's very pretty, and I think it's a Suzuki. Oh, she'll be cranky with me if I've said the wrong type of bike. But it's either Suzuki or Kawasaki, and it's a matte black colour and it's very pretty. But she often rides on the freeway, which scares the bejesus out of me. She works up Newcastle way and so uses the freeway to get to work because it's the quickest way to get to work. Here in Australia, in New South Wales, we are limited to 90 kilometres per hour speed limit on our learners and also on our provisional licence. And so even though the freeway, the M1 that she's travelling up, is 110 speed limit, she will only be doing 90. But it's more about, the speed of the cars that are travelling in the lanes next to you. We would obviously travel in the far left-hand lane in Australia, which is the slow lane, but the cars that come past in the middle lane and the right lane fly past, especially on that M1 freeway, which is the freeway that most people travel from Sydney up to Newcastle and further up the coast. So that's who we're meeting up at the next location in Budgewoi. So this area I'm kind of familiar with that we're travelling through now, and I think we've travelled through this way on the way back in the other direction when we went to the Biker's Attic motorbike shop and that motorbike show. You might remember coming down this road in the other direction. It's lovely. We still have, and you'll see on the Garmin GPS, on the left hand side of where we're riding is the big lake that flows into the ocean on our right hand side. So we're kind of sandwiched in the middle, and there's a lovely walkway. You just saw it as we zoomed past, that you can walk the length of this sort of area for quite a few kilometres, which is fantastic. And I think it's bicycle friendly and potentially accessible friendly. So if you have mobility issues or you're in a wheelchair, you can still go along that track, which is lovely. I love accessibility. It's a beautiful day. It felt like when we got to this point that we'd been riding for a long time, even though we were still technically on the Central Coast. I don't think I realised just how tiring riding a motorcycle is. I feel like I have to be much more mentally alert. Well, I do have to be much more mentally alert when I'm riding Rosie as opposed to when I'm in the car. And physically, I kind of have my muscles switched on constantly, and I'm often telling myself to relax my shoulders, relax my hands, because although my fingers don't go numb anymore, which happened at the beginning when I first started riding, I would have spoken about it. They still get a little bit crampy and a little bit sore, and I have to remember to loosen my grip on the throttle and also on the left hand grip as well, just so that they don't cramp up constantly. It was still pretty cold. I mentioned in the other video I forgot to charge one of my heated liners that go inside my normal gloves, so my little fingies were a little bit cold, but it was a really warm day, so as the day progressed my hands got a bit warmer and it was okay. The speed limit along this area is, some areas are 70 and some are 80. One of the instructors early on had said you need to leave at least 3 seconds between yourself and the car or the motorbike in front of you. So I tried to do that. I tried to go past the marker and count 1 1,000 and 2 1,000 and 3 1,000, so that there's enough space. Should something happen ahead of me, I have enough space to do a counter maneuver to avoid whatever that instance is. But I can still see Mia in front of me and Joe in front of Mia, and behind me I think the order is Marie, then Sam, then Fee at the back. And so we continue along this road for quite a bit. It's another one of those roads that I really like because of all the trees. I just love bush, I love hiking, so the trees make me very happy. Along with trees though comes kangaroos and wallabies that kind of wander out on the road, so we always have to be just that little bit cautious about that. You can see on the GPS that we've kind of gone inland a little bit now, because Budgewoi is kind of in a little bit rather than right on the coast. We're still not that far from the coast. I think you can just see a hint of it on the right hand edge of the GPS. You can see the coast area, and up ahead a big lake. But we are getting closer to Budgewoi Hotel, I think was the pickup spot. Alex, I think I mentioned, did the L course with us the day before, or the P practice, because she's a learner. But Tanya is an experienced rider, so we end up having 3 experienced riders: Fiona, Joe and Sam. So Sam is Marie's husband, and he comes with us often, even though he's a male and this is a women's riding group. I actually quite like having a male in the group. He's a lovely man, very friendly, likes a joke, and it's nice to have an experienced rider with us, as well as obviously Joe and Tanya. I think we all get a little bit nervous at the roundabouts. I know I do with the smaller ones. These bigger ones though, I feel pretty comfortable. There's plenty of room to get round and out the other side. I think the only 2 types of roundabouts that I don't love are the very small ones, like the one near the university at Ourimbah, and also the ones that have a couple of lanes travelling through, because sometimes people don't stay in their lane, and that's a little frustrating. You can see we're back near the water again on the GPS, but the water is the lake, not the ocean. And we're not very far away, maybe about 3 or 4 minutes from where we need to pick up Alex and Tanya, of course. I don't know my way around this area at all. I don't spend a lot of time up here. It's very flat for sure, which makes it, I guess, a little bit easier for riding. I mentioned in the other video that I was thinking about doing some modifications to Rosie. But when I was researching the cost of a different exhaust, and there's a particular brand starting with A, I think, that I can't remember the name of now. Gosh, were they expensive. So nearly $1,000 Australian dollars. And certainly it would be with fitting. I think the part alone is $900 and something, but then you would have labour to fit it, which would probably take a couple of hours. So maybe that's not really on my list. I did though want the round mirrors as opposed to these oblongy ones, but some things that I've read have said that the oblongy ones, like the ones that are already on Rosie, actually have better vision, and so maybe I don't want them. Maybe I should just leave her as she is, and not meddle too much with it, I guess. But I'm not good at that. I seem to like to tinker a lot with anything that I buy. If I buy camera equipment, I've always got to tinker and buy extra bits and pieces. I don't know why that is. It looks from here that I've lost Mia and Joe, but they are just kind of in front of me. And probably about 3 seconds in front. I think now we're kind of coming into Budgewoi, like the suburb of Budgewoi. Another roundabout. This one's okay though, it's because it's only just kind of one lane. Really easy to get through. And we're going to pull over in a minute near the, I think it's called the Budgewoi Hotel. I needed a toilet break by this stage. Oh no, we've got to go around the corner a little bit. Sorry, that's right. I think we turn right here and then a very quick left, and then we are at the Budgewoi Hotel. And I desperately needed to go to the toilet, and it was about 10 minutes to 10 a.m. by this stage, and the pub didn't open, or the hotel didn't open until 10 o'clock, so we had to go for a little wander. Well, thanks for watching. We're just waiting for our 2 additional members to turn up, and then we'll head off, and that will be in the next video. You can just see Mia parked in front of me there, Joe in front of her. We're trying to reverse back. I still haven't mastered this either. And then you'll see the other rest of the crew pull up, and we'll just have a little bit of a break here before we move on. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.